Hey, Larkin and Amanda here. We're just making this quick video for two reasons. One, to tell you that we're going to be at the Music and Sky event happening in just a week and a half.
Woohoo!
We shall be there for the whole thing. I'll be giving a talk called Love Isn't All You Need, but we'll also just be hanging out and talking to people, which is usually the funnest part. The event is sort of, I don't know what to call it. You can look it up, musicandsky.com. It's respectable hippies with all sorts of things going on related to health and spirituality, and it's family friendly, and you can look up all about it. But it occurs to me that the topic I was about to talk about anyway kind of relates to that. I just got a comment from somebody, and like hundreds before I've gotten over the years, of people saying, oh, it's too late to talk to anybody and say things, and that's kind of pointless. And we need to be like developing cryptocurrencies and learning to grow food and live off grid and form networks and so on and so on.
All those things are great, by the way, and we should all be doing those things too.
Absolutely. And so my response to that isn't don't focus on those things. My response is, wait, who's this we that should be doing that stuff? Well, we is the people who've already heard about and embraced the ideas of voluntarism. Okay, wouldn't it be kind of handy if we included hundreds of thousands or millions of people instead of dozens or a few hundred? So all that stuff is really good, but how well that works depends on how many people understand these things and learn these things. So I don't expect everyone to have the same agenda and priorities I have. Obviously, my focus is almost entirely on spreading the concepts of self-ownership and non-aggression in a stateless society. And there's a million other things that people can be interested in, like all of the things that are going to be discussed at Music and Sky that I know little or nothing about, and I don't need to, because they have a different value. But the thing is,
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to remind people that if you'd like to donate to help make more videos like this possible, the description below says how to do just that. Goodbye.
Okay. So, as I was saying, all those things are great, and I love it that people are talking about that stuff and sharing all that knowledge. But to me, it's so crucial to have enough people who understand the principles of liberty, real liberty, not the fake government kind, that we can actually do all those other things because we have enough people to have a network and have people who are skilled and knowledgeable in all those things.
I have to point out that I often wonder who's saying those things and what their experience has been when they say things everyone who's gonna wake up it had the chance to wake up is already gonna wake up. That's like saying everyone on Earth is the exact same age and has had the same experiences and the same opportunities. It's like, no, there's children, there's every age you can imagine, and people being born all the time, constantly, and you don't know what other people's lives are like. And every person that I know who's said that is an anarchist or voluntarist or liberty lover who at some point was a statist. Yep. So that's like saying, well, all of the people I know of are the only people who can possibly find liberty. And I magically know that of the other billions out there, none of them are now capable at all of suddenly turning over a new leaf and just going, fuck this shit. I'm done with it. And that doesn't make any sense when anyone who's been paying attention and spreading the message or trying to get it out for even, the last 10 years, if you've been traveling and going to freedom events and actually talking to people in a way that has had success, then you have seen the growth of the freedom community. You have seen over the last 10 years that it went from a few dozens or hundreds of people talking about it in tiny little cliques online to hundreds of thousands of people following all kinds of social media pages and whole movements and new organizations being started around, resisting authoritarian and tyrannical governments and questioning this stuff. And so this whole, cop hating culture that has shifted into from this cop loving culture, for example, in 15 years, That didn't exist 15 years ago, and now it's here, and it's because thousands and thousands of liberty lovers went to the internet and went outside of their homes and spread the message relentlessly and are still doing it. So it's working, and we're watching it work. So to get discouraged because the whole world isn't free, like now, is like saying, well, gee, we've been entrenched in statism for 10,000 years. I'm really upset that in like 3 decades of the internet existing, we haven't converted 8 billion people overnight. And it's like,
yeah, and
did you think that was going to happen? Because that's not how anything works, guys. This was going to take time the whole time.
and a lot of people who are kind of
take time.
spouting the resistance is futile, you will be assimilated message out of frustration. Partly it's because they're just frustrated because they don't know how to convey it without making everything into an argument. So for that, I highly recommend people do Candles in the Dark. You can get that at attendcandles.com if you want to be way better at communicating. But however you do it and whatever you try, to give up on that is basically to say, well, I'm capable of understanding these things, but the other 7 billion people aren't. Which is kind of ridiculous.
Right, and you also have two sides of the freedom community that I've met. You have the ones who have, said, I've tried everything, and then we go, no, you haven't, and then we show them the communication method that we use, and they go, oh, no, I hadn't tried every way of communicating with people, and we're over here doing seminars for the last 5 years, going to Anarchapulco and teaching people how to talk this way, having anarchists come back to us and say, I have transformed my communication methods with my family, and I'm having different conversations that I used to go horribly wrong. I had 20-year-long gutter ruts with people where we'd have the same fights over and over again, and now I'm having success. And we have that side of the freedom community. They're active, they're changing hearts and minds, and partly it's because people are sharing the ideas of how to do it, and we've taught them how to do it, and we've proved that it works. And then we have the people over here who, for whatever reason, they've not actually tried this method yet, they don't know it exists or whatever, and maybe they've only been surrounded by their few statist family members and they haven't really had any success and they don't see the world changing in their immediate day-to-day reality. So all they see is the same rigmarole and they're like really frustrated with it. And that's why I want to distinguish the two people, that are the types watching this. You may be in the first camp where you've already started taking off and changing hearts and minds. Great. But if you're in the other camp and you don't see a lot of change, I swear, it isn't because you've tried everything. You haven't tried everything.
And I totally sympathize with the people who are sort of bitter and angry and want to give up because it's frustrating because the normal way people communicate, the normal response you're going to get is horrendous.
Yeah.
But you end up being a doomsayer, which helps the state. And I'd much rather people find a way to be successful at that or be successful at something so that the focus is about progress and enlightenment and positivity. And that's one of the things I think is really cool about Music and Sky is that it's very much a positive environment, including family friendly and all that. So anyway, we're going to be there in a week and a half for the whole thing. It's from October 13th to the 16th.
Where in California again?
I don't even remember, but that's why
helpful.
That's why we have descriptions below. Descriptions below is how to get tickets and directions and where everything is. And so I guess that's really all we need to cover for today.
And for anybody wondering, Larkin and Amanda, we know you're musicians and it's called Music and Sky. Are you doing any of your official music there? The answer to that is no, and it's only because in order for us to perform, it would involve hauling a very expensive piece of equipment and a lot of planning that we didn't nearly have time for, given when we heard about the event. So when we heard about this, he was being invited just to speak. So mostly
they're doing acoustic stuff anyway,
right?
Instead of till 3 in the morning. But we won't talk about that.
Sorry, and still 3 in the morning is a reference to a rave experience that did that. No,
this won't be that. Music and Sky will be.
If you weren't there for that experience,
lots more pleasant than that.
Won't know what we're talking about.
So if you can, join us there. Yeehaw!
Don't forget to donate.
What she said.